All right, Claire, I'm good.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the monthly meeting of the East Rockaway School Board. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 7:03 p.m. on Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. Ozzy, can you read the,
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming out tonight. I'm here to read about a very special young man. His name is Robert Mazurek, or RJ. He is called in the halls of Ray Avenue, is a fourth grader student of a lucky teacher, Mrs. Byra and Mrs. Buffet. He is a wonderful example of what it means to be a really good human. I don't know why I'm so nervous about reading that. In class this year, he is the leader of his kindness and fun. RJ has helped welcome a new student to school through providing tours, helpful hints, and including the new student in activities. In addition, he is soaring in his classroom, especially in mathematics. Yay, RJ. When asked about his favorite part of the school day, RJ replied, math, because his parents said he is really good at it. Of course they did. And his teacher echoed that statement as well. Ray Avenue is lucky to have a kind and respectful student like RJ in our schools, and we are proud to have him lead the pledge tonight at the Board of Ed meeting. RJ, can you please come up and say the pledge for us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anybody else can have a hug later too if they want.
Next, we have a presentation, Mr. Murray.
That's it.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Last month, if you were at the board meeting or if you watched our live stream, we talked about our student data from last year. We did a pretty thorough review of our student performance. So today, while the topic is iReady, we're not diving into the data from iReady, but instead we're going to just share ways that families can view and use iReady with their students, and to give families a better understanding of how it is that our teachers use the iReady data in the classroom without sharing the data itself. I always like to start my presentations just reminding ourselves of the district mission. And in this case, we're using the iReady program and data from it to make sure that our educational program is indeed challenging enough for our students and that we're meeting them where they need to be so that we can push them to achieve as much as they're able to achieve. And the things that drive us, our innovation, our achievement, our connection, and our opportunity, we know that the student results are going to follow as our teachers work with them on a very detailed level. So just what we're going to talk about tonight, why do we use iReady for our students and with our students? With a little more detail, the actual information iReady is providing for parents and for teachers. And then briefly, how can parents support their children at home in order to meet with their most success? So just again, a little bit of a refresher. We have a legal, in addition to an ethical obligation, to measure student progress at least 3 times a year. That's something that comes out of both federal and state education regulations and laws. And we've chosen iReady because it allows us to use a standardized, nationally normed, research-based method for analyzing student performance at those 3 times a year, in the fall, the winter, and the spring. Our teachers need reliable data to be able to make sure that their classroom instruction is being informed appropriately. And the iReady program provides those reliable data, but it also provides students with a personalized learning pathway. So based on their performance on each of those 3 times a year assessments, they're put onto a path that is right at the right level for them in both math and in reading, so that they can push and excel, and that is in a supplement to the classroom instruction. It does not replace the classroom instruction, but it supplements the classroom instruction. And the charts that you see up here, we're using the assessment to measure progress, to set goals, to plan instruction, both whole class and small group, and we're also using it to measure our results, and are those plans and are those goals happening. And then if you look over to the right, when you look at those triangles, iReady helps us measure what students are growing over the course of the year. So when you look at those triangles, you have the students and the amount of support they need. So at the beginning of the year, we're maybe seeing students who need more support, and as they're given that support, by the end of the year, you can see a lot more students are on grade level in that green area, and a lot fewer students needing a lot of support in that red area. So rather than me say what iReady is, this is a very brief video from Curriculum Associates. Curriculum Associates is the publishing company that has created iReady. They also provide the staff development for our teachers in iReady, and I think they probably do a little bit better of a job than I can just explaining for parents what iReady is and does.
Hi, my name is Mark Bernstein. I'm a National Director at Curriculum Associates, and we are the iReady people. For the student, iReady serves 2 functions. Number 1, it's an online diagnostic assessment that pinpoints math and reading skills down to the sub-skill level. And number 2, it's online learning that caters to a student's specific needs, whether those needs are on, above, or below level. I'd like to share 4 things you need to know about iReady. Number 1, the iReady online assessment is adaptive in nature. This means that students see questions based on how they're performing. If a student struggles, the questions get easier. If a student is breezing through, the questions become more challenging. Once a student completes the diagnostic, the teacher will know exactly what the student needs, so it eliminates the necessity to over-test our children, thus allowing more time for teaching. Number 2, the iReady online instruction is personalized to the individual. Once a student completes the diagnostic, his or her results will differ from classmates. So we give each student their own pathway based on diagnostic results. If the student needs help with reading comprehension, that student will get lessons to help. If the student has geometry skills above grade level, that student will receive geometry content that's above grade level. Support for those who have gaps to fill, enrichment for those who are exceeding grade level expectations. Number 3, iReady is not a grading tool. Your child won't get an A or C- based on how they perform in iReady. iReady supports students, challenges students, gives students math and reading content that is right at their level. iReady helps children to grow, but it is not used to assign grades. And number 4, iReady is not designed to replace the teacher. In every school district, teachers are an irreplaceable asset. iReady supports teachers by helping group students with similar needs, for targeted instruction, what we call differentiation. Once small groups are established, iReady's Teacher Toolbox is just one of the many resources that teachers may use to provide targeted instruction. But replace the teacher? Never. Thank you very much for watching this video. We look forward to seeing your students succeed with iReady.
So like I said, iReady supplements the instruction in the classroom. It does not replace it. So how are we using it exactly in our classrooms? So like I said before, the diagnostic assessment is given 3 times per year, early fall, midwinter, late spring. We have students using the program independently, the personalized learning pathway, approximately 10 minutes per day for each subject. The research tells us that the ideal amount of time that students should be spending in the personalized learning pathway is between 30 and 50 minutes per week per subject. So that amounts to about 10 minutes a day, give or take, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. Some of our students do choose to do more of that at home because they enjoy the platform and some of the games that go along with it when they're successful. But as far as how much is actually assigned in the classroom, we work really hard to keep it into that 30 to 50 minute range that research says is the ideal amount. And then our teachers are using the Teacher Toolbox for their small group instruction on a daily basis. So when we determine what level or skills students need to work on, iReady offers a plethora of supports for teachers. It has some lesson plans, it has some resources, it has a lot of ways and tools that teachers can use to pull out to work on either small group instruction, one-on-one, or whatever the case may be. So what do the teachers actually look like? So these are the data that our teachers are going to review several times a year. The chart on the left shows just a snapshot of a class. And all those colors are telling you where students' performance is in different domains. So it doesn't just say your overall score. It does have an overall score, but more importantly, in each of the different domains of reading skills and the different domains of math, we are able to get individual scores for each domain for a child. So a child might be overall grade level 4, but they might be doing grade level 5 fluency and grade level 3 comprehension or something to that effect. And so then the teacher can craft much more customized instruction for that student, not give them help they don't need, but make sure that they are addressing the needs that they have. And then the chart over on the right is a way that our teachers can help set goals for students. So the colorful skinny bar onto the far right of the right chart is tapped into the projected performance on New York State exams for that grade level. And the green bar, the big green swath in the middle, is the range of grade level performance. So in this particular case, our student is starting the year a bit below grade level, which is not unexpected because the grade level band is end of year expectations. And if you look at the 2 horizontal lines, the first black line, that's typical growth. So for most students who start with the score that the student started at, they're going to reach that level of growth in a year. And you can see that that growth level is just below proficiency as far as what they would expect to get on the state test. The green horizontal line, on the other hand, is the stretch growth. So if our teachers are giving that real customized support, if the students are using the program the right way, we would expect that they can reach that stretch level growth, and that stretch level growth puts them right on par for being proficient in that grade levels test. So these are 2 different ways that our teachers look at the data. So what do then they do with those data? Well, one thing that we do is we determine what's the appropriate tier of support that students should get. All of our students are in one of 3 tiers for support. Tier 1 is the general classroom instruction and the small group instruction that teachers build into their lessons every day. Tier 2 support for students who are a little bit behind grade level, that takes on different forms, but the most likely form of that is an additional professional, whether it's a teacher or a teaching assistant with expertise in reading or math, will push into the classroom and be a second adult in that room so that students that need that support are getting a second dose of support. So they're working with their classroom teacher and they're getting some additional time with one of our expert interventionists. A smaller group of students who are further behind grade level would be considered to be getting tier 3 support. And tier 3 support can take different forms, but the most common form is for that student to be going out of the classroom with a specialist, a reading teacher, or a math teacher. And again, that's additional instruction. So that tier 3 support is happening when there is no new learning taking place in the classroom, so that student is receiving additional support beyond what they're already getting in the classroom. And then you can see on the right, this is a chart that our teachers started using this year with our literacy coaches, with our literacy coach and with our principals to help create groups of students based on the domain that they needed support with. So becoming a proficient reader, you have to work up through a number of layers there's a hierarchy of skills that you need to take on as a reader, starting with phonemic awareness, just hearing the sounds in the language. You move from that to phonics, which is being able to connect the sounds and the letters. Once you can connect sounds and letters, you can start decoding words, reading words. That doesn't mean you know what they mean yet, but it does mean that you can say them when they're on the page. And we go from there into fluency, where you can read those words without struggling over them. And once you throw in some really robust vocabulary, that's when you get to strong comprehension. So our students are broken into groups based on the level of support that they need at that time. And those groups are very fluid and flexible. Some students need more support when they're reading fiction. Some students might need more support when they're reading nonfiction or informational text. So those groups can be very flexible for that reason. Now for parents, our parents do receive what's called the family report, and if we have any elementary age parents in the audience, and I do see a few, you know that 3 times a year you're receiving a report that looks like this. Now this is a first test report. The second and third testing of the year will have more than 1 bar on them because you can track your students' growth over the course of the year. And when you look at this, the blue bar is always going to be your student, and the big green field is going to be grade level performance, and it is a band because grade level is not just a point, but it is a band. In this particular case, this is a student who at the start of the year is just at the bottom of grade level expectations, which actually for iReady is really strong because you haven't even gone through the grade 4 curriculum yet, and you're already at the edge of what would be considered end of year expectations for 4th grade. So this is a student that would be getting enrichment from their teacher. And if you look down on the bottom, you'll see that there is a percentile indication, a national norm. And so what that tells us is this particular student did better on the iReady assessment than 70% of the students around the entire country. So that's what that 70th percentile means. But really more importantly, if you look at the right side of this chart, it breaks down even for parents, the students' skills into those different domains. So in this particular area, the student, like I said before, they're reading informational text or nonfiction text better than fictional text or literature. So this teacher would be more focused on helping the student with their literature comprehension than with their nonfiction comprehension. Another thing that you'll see when we look at the family report, this is kind of blown up, but for each of those domains that you get an individual score for, it actually gives tips for what the student should be doing or what the parent can be doing at home to help. So in this particular case, where the student was slightly below their performance in the other domains in literature, The idea is the student would benefit from instruction in grade 3 literacy skills and strategies, such as analyzing story elements, determining word meaning. And so the parent and the teacher will encourage that student to spend more time in literature text, perhaps, than nonfiction text, even if they prefer the nonfiction. So what are some other things that parents can do? Well, when parents are at home and their student logs into iReady, there is the dashboard, and parents can see the student's progress. They can see how much time they've spent on task for that week. They can see the number of lessons the student has passed. They can see how many lessons in a row the student has done successfully. But really, the best thing for you to do is to just be a cheerleader. Encourage them to do their best. This is not about absolute performance, but this is about growth. Help them have an area that they can work with minimal distraction. All of the things that you would do for good study habits in general can help students really feel success when they're doing the iReady program. And I know the principals can speak for it, but the kids get really excited when they see their growth. It's just it's like an achievement for them when they see the results of their hard work. Just a few other important reminders. This is one point of data. Our children. There's a lot to a child, a lot more to a child than just a reading score or a math score. But data is also important. And as professionals, we would be remiss if we weren't using data to inform our instruction with students. We owe it to them to make sure that the instruction we're giving them is actually meeting their needs. So we use this as a cycle of improvement. We determine where students are, we set goals, we make plans, we give instruction, then we gather data again, and then after analyzing those new data, we either make changes if things aren't going well, we need to adjust, and if things are going in the right direction, we just add on and push them further. Because what we really want to do ultimately in East Rockaway, after 13 years of our students here, is not prepare our students to know things, but prepare them to know how to learn. Because I was actually just saying today, I ran a workshop for our second and third year new teachers. And we were talking about productive struggle, and the value of productive struggle in the learning process. And what I said to those teachers, and I say to all of our teachers, our responsibility here in East Rockaway is to send students out into the world able to learn without us, because then they're ready for whatever life throws them. If you can learn, if you can adjust, anything that happens in your community, in your world, in your economy, you'll be ready for because you can adjust. Any questions from the board? Yes.
Is this like, I was looking at the sheet that said what parents can look at and what parents can do. Is this updated, like we want to see what the student did to every Friday or every day?
The dashboard is live, so when they log into the dashboard, it would be the data up to that moment, yes.
Okay. That's all.
All right, thank you very much.
Mr. DiTomaso, next is new business.
Yes. Okay, for new business, I'd like to celebrate Sherry Poland, who was recognized at a Woman of Distinction ceremony. Mr. Healy and I had the privilege of attending Assemblywoman Judy Griffin's Woman of Distinction ceremony, and that was held at Baldwin Middle School. Ms. Sherry Poland was honored by Assemblyman Griffin in recognition of her exemplary contributions in the community, in the classroom, and as a member of our athletic coaching staff. Mrs. Poland has been an invaluable asset to the special education department and athletics program since joining the district. To fill the teaching position, small little caveat, she filled my teaching position when I took the dean of students. And Mrs. Poland was joined by her family and accepted a well-deserved recognition. So when you see Mrs. Poland, please feel free to congratulate her. This is a really interesting moving to facilities. I don't know if I see Sarah, any people here? We had a underground oil tank removal. Last week, we rescheduled the removal of an old unused underground oil tank located below Center Avenue backfield. Once the surrounding oil was excavated, a significant crack was indicated on the left, significant crack was identified on the left exterior wall of the tank. Soil next to and beneath the tank showed discoloration consistent with an oil release into the environment. What we needed to do is the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation and the Nassau County Department of Health were on site through the removal process. And based on their inspection, they directed the oil to be actions to be contained in the soil. Additional soil has taken place to determine the extent of the leak. We are expecting results of those tests later this week. I know Mr. Van Wart and myself have been there, and we are anticipating that they will remove the soil, and the inconvenience to the community has been for the kids who haven't been able to be outside and use the playground. So we're hoping, fingers crossed, that the students will be able to go back outside. And that's it, the new business.
All right, next is the old business.
Old business. Okay, again, with facilities over the past few weeks, our general contractor had made contributions and progress on the high school cupola restoration project. I don't know if you guys have seen the cupola. You can see that the exterior components have been removed and the interior of the cupola has been fully cleaned out and the structure has been prepared for restoration. Unfortunately, and this happens with construction, as we all know in our homes, once the exterior was open, the team uncovered several unforeseen structural issues that were not previously visible. This includes significant deterioration in the wood framing beneath several windows, as well as loose brick and mortar joints. Last week, our facilities department, Mr. Daly and Mr. Van Wart, the contractor, and the architects and engineers met on site to review these conditions. Following that visit, the district's architect and engineer issued a recommended repair plan to ensure the long-term structural integrity of the cupola. So it's, when we have worked on in our homes, it's a delay, but when we have a delay, it's has to go through New York State Ed. So the bad news is it's going to be delayed. The good news is that we have a plan moving forward. We are currently awaiting a cost proposal from the contractor and additional work for the district's architect in preparing the paperwork and getting submission for SED. So we'll continue to keep the board and the community updated. Sadly, I was hoping the cupola would be done at this point, but we have a delay. I'd like to thank the Board of Education for meeting and accepting the Elks Lodge donation dictionaries. I think this is the second or third year in a row that they've given the third graders dictionary. The Elks Club notified us that the dictionaries are ready to be delivered, and we are grateful for them and thank them for that. And last but not least, I know this is our district realignment plan has been a hot topic. I want to extend a thank you to the community for being patient. I won't read a statement, but the bottom line is we're in the discovery phase right now, and we're building a plan from the ground up, working with the teachers. And once we formulate a draft with the teachers, we will bring that to the community. The time frame for that is shortly after the holidays. We will have an open forums and community conversations about that. So this is really a grassroots plan where we'll be working with the staff, we'll be working with the teachers, and my first committee meeting is this Thursday. I'm excited that we have over 30 teachers on that committee. So again, I want to thank the community for being patient. I will get you and we will reveal that information as soon as we have a plan and set that forward. And that's it for the board business.
All right, thank you, Mr. DiTomaso. Next, Sophia, student report.
All right, under connection,
It's on.
okay. Under connection, we have the student cabinet returning at the high school, which will allow students to voice concerns with administration through student-led forums, which I'm excited to get that running and offer more student input at meetings. And then over at Center, students wrote thank you cards and met with local alumni who is a military veteran to build meaningful community ties and honoring service members. And they have the opportunity to meet and ask questions. Under opportunity, we have the newly introduced club at East Rockaway High School, HOSA, Health Occupation Students of America, sending students to the leadership conference for the first time, offering new leadership and learning experiences, which I'm excited to be one of them that gets to go on that trip. And then under achievement, we have our construction builds. Our school competes uniquely on Long Island and was the only one to win an award, the most fantastic award, for our team structure, coloring a hunger-free world, and we're also up for a People's Choice Award. Under innovation, we have the implementation of project-based learning strategies, exemplifies innovative approaches to learning and community engagement.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice work, Sophia.
Good job. All right, next is public comments on agenda items. There will be a public comment section at the end of the meeting, but this is public comments on agenda items. At this time, are there any comments regarding tonight's agenda items? Okay, next, approval of minutes. Are there any questions from the board regarding the minutes from the special meeting on October 9th and regular meetings on October 21st, 2025?
Nope.
All right, can I have a motion to approve the minutes of agenda item 1H?
Motion.
Motion by Mrs. Doyle, second.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Salufo, all in favor? Opposed, abstained, motion approved. Next, acknowledgement of monthly reports and correspondence. Have you guys all seen the monthly financial reports?
Yes.
Yep.
This month, we received 7 emails, and we have started discussing them. Next on the agenda, can I have a motion to create a consent agenda with the following items? Recommendation of superintendent's personnel schedules, items 4A through G. Other items 5A through H. Approval of CSE and CPSE recommendation 6A, and budget transfers 7A.
Motion.
Motion by Mrs. Salufo, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lawrence, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion approved. Now can I have a motion to accept the items on the consent agenda? Motion to accept the items on.
Oh, motion.
Motion by Mr. Lawrence, second.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Lonigan, all in favor? Opposed, abstained, motion approved. All right, next is policy matters. Okay. We have to, actually, I'd like a motion to adopt the following policies. Policy 0111, 0111E, Title IX sexual harassment. Policy 6410, authorized signatures. Policy 6830, 6830R, expense reimbursement and regulation. And policy 1500, 1500R, 1500E2, public use of school facilities, regulations, and exhibits. Are there any questions from the board regarding these policies? Okay. Can I have a motion to adopt policies under agenda item 8B? Motion by Mrs. Monaghan, second. Second by Mrs. Doyle, all in favor? Opposed, abstained, motion approved. Superintendent report.
Yes, okay. There are so many good things happening in the district, I'm going to apologize now because this might be a problem.
I'm going to apologize. Kindergarten and first grade teachers participated in project-based learning training. Teachers are already implementing these strategies to enhance student engagement including the Thanksgiving Parade project and improvements to recess equipment at Rain. And I believe this Friday at 9:30, it's balloons, right? Balloons over Rain Avenue. And that project was based on the Thanksgiving Day Parade, and I'm really excited to see it. I saw a little preview today, Mr. Bixon, and it was great. The life science biology teachers at East Rockaway High School participated in the second year of our science curriculum collaboration with both Hewlett and West Hempstead schools in the past. This past November 6th, the collaboration with biology teachers from both schools on best teaching practices and assessment building techniques as schools across the country transition to the new New York State learning standards, science standards. Our playoffs concluded with the following teams, and I got to see just about all these teams. Congratulations for making playoffs. The boys soccer team went to the quarterfinals, girls volleyball went to the semifinals, and cross country sent 3 girls and 6 boys to the New York State qualifiers. Also, game day cheerleaders competed at the Nassau County Finals. Both girls volleyball and game day cheer were selected as team sportsmanship winners for their sports. And this has been a great tradition, and thank you to Mr. Gary and all the coaches for that. We won numerous sportsmanship awards. So congratulations to the coaches and the players and the parents. After the most recent 7th grade team meeting, staffs identified a need to help students develop active listening skills. In response, Mr. Tesoriero, Ms. Moore, and Ms. Terranova created a lesson to teach, model, practice, and assess active learning skills. Mr. Tesorio and Mr. Moore then delivered the lesson to all 7th graders in social studies classes. The Curriculum Instruction Office planned 2 days of professional learning for the entire staff on Superintendent's Conference Day. Just a quick preview of that. A third of our staff finished our PBL 101 training. This indicates that our entire staff now has been trained in project-based learning, and it's really taking off like wildfire. I can say this, the teachers are doing a fantastic job of promoting project-based learning, and now what I'm starting to see is interdisciplinary projects between different grade levels, and that's really great to see, and that's growth. We have our teacher aides and monitors work with CPI training, which is to enhance de-escalation skills. Our security guards and select teachers receive CPR and AED training. All staff not attending PBL training participated in trauma-informed teaching, which was a request from our teachers with Dr. Kelly Zinn. And according to my survey to all the teachers, this was a very, very popular workshop. And in fact, we are going to try to have Dr. Zinn come back and continue her work. The high school humanities teachers participated in a special workshop on advanced vocabulary, and the consultant was Amy Benjamin. And our elementary teachers participated in a special workshop on shifting small group instruction from level reading groups to skill-based data-driven instruction, and that was led by our literacy coach, Danielle Schneider. Teachers were also allotted some time to collaborate in co-planning and curriculum and update their PBL projects. And we also made a presentation on the Princeton plan, which gave the teachers a general idea of what the time frame is and how we're going to move forward in getting feedback from the teachers and from the community. Real big congratulations to Shauna Silva. She said exciting news that our own Julia Menino, a 12th grader, was accepted into the All Eastern Treble Honor Choir. This is a huge accomplishment as the choir had a record number of applicants this year and includes students from Connecticut, Delaware, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and Vermont. Julia will have a chance to perform at the American Choral Directors Association, and we're all excited for her and can't wait to see her performance. In the area of connection, the girls volleyball team held a Dig Pink fundraiser for breast cancer, and I will like to commend Mr. Gregory because all our teams are involved in community and community service. The soccer team held a shoot-a-thon for our youth clinic. A game day cheer participated in making strides against breast cancer and a walk at Jones Beach. So very happy that all our teams participated on giving back to the community. On Monday, November 12th, Middle School Counselor Ms. Donna Robbins, in collaboration with Mr. Tesoriero, led the 7th grade social studies class in a Veterans Day lesson celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Marine Corps. Students colored and wrote thank you cards to the Marines, watched videos on different military branches, and shared family stories. East Rockaway is proud to honor our community members and alumni who have served. Following the lesson, Mrs. Robbins delivered the cards personally, along with coffee and donuts to local Marine recruiters. And if you know Mrs. Robbins, this is what she does. She did an outstanding job on that. On Superintendent's Conference Day, the school councils traveled to the New York City to tour the Institute of Culinary Education to learn about trade school and develop relationships with the faculty and administration, demonstrating the commitment to continuous learning of various post-secondary pathways for our students. Mr. Gregory held our district's first family engagement night last week. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I think 2 weeks ago. It was last week. Last week. It was so excited to see. We had over 90 people attend. We had a Major League Baseball agent, Mark Leanweaver, speak with parents and students on why character matters. And if you didn't get a chance, we put it up on the website for you to see. And he did a great presentation for the students on how character matters in every single aspect of their life. And after that, Mr. Gregory hosted Kathy Lombardi, who provided Narcan training for anybody who wanted to stay, and they received an emergency kit. On October 20th, I hosted the first Superintendent Student Advisory Council, like my favorite part of what I do, with 15 students in grade 4 through 12 participating as my student ambassadors. Joining me in meeting was my central office team. The returning students were extremely excited to be back, and the new student ambassadors expressed their gratitude for having been selected to represent their grades. After introductions and a brief presentations, the returning students shared their PowerPoint presentations, which emphasized leadership, communication, and student input. In case you were not aware, this March, our student ambassadors will be making a pitch to the Board of Education and some of the resources they would like to see to improve our schools. So that's a great meeting to attend. Mr. Proland brought his 8th graders and his senior class to the 9/11 Memorial and Museum. The students there had the opportunity to explore exhibits and stories that brought to life the events of September 11, 2001. The experience encouraged students to reflect on lasting impact on the pivotal moment in our nation's history and the enduring values of compassion, strength, and unity. I'm almost there. The Hall of Fame touchscreen is now up and running thanks to Mr. Gregory and the athletic department. If you haven't gotten a chance, where the new red benches are, the TV screen is constantly displaying our Hall of Fame athletes. So if you get a chance, please take a look. I'd like to thank the East Rockaway Education Foundation and also Mr. Loras for attending the October meeting. As usual, we had 3 proposals that were approved, and it's a little different technique this year. We're improving proposals as they go, and I can't thank the Ed Foundation enough for the resources that they provide for us. It's a great enhancement to the education of our students. Mr. Madden was reorganizing and working with families in our community that may experience added stress and insecurity in light of the changes taking effect to food assistance program affected by the shutdown of the federal government. There's a letter posted on the district website that I want to make note to that any families who are in need. It was posted via Parent Square, and on that letter there are resources available for families who need any assistance, and it's titled our SNAP letter. So if anybody has any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me or the guidance office if any families are in need. In the area of opportunity, elementary students expanded their learning beyond the classroom through several field trips. I know Mrs. Flanagan likes that. We had visits to the local firehouse, White Post Farms, Captree, to learn about marine life. And in Mr. Crowley's AP Environmental Science class, they participated in the annual Day in the Life of the River, Students work with local conservation biologist Michael Farina, as well as the Nassau County Soil and Water Conservation District to collect data from the Mill River, right here in our own backyard. They collected data which got submitted to a larger database, and they will be monitoring the quality of the river over time. So I'd like to thank Mr. Crowley and our students for investing in our community. Mr. Caputo's geometry classes will launch their PBL unit created on Superintendent's Conference Day. Students will visit a mini golf course and apply their lesson and knowledge of measurement of angles, Pythagorean theorem, and to calculate accuracy of putting a golf ball into the hole. That's pretty good. The school counseling department has concluded its college visits for this fall. They had the opportunity to connect with over 50 representatives from college, trade schools, employers, and military branches. So thank you to the guidance department and Mr. Manning for that. Our virtual enterprise class, this is a new class, and students will be participating in their first state online trade show on November 20th. I will be sharing details about that. Our virtual enterprise is for our business students who are interested in selling and buying, and they connect with other school districts. And it's a really great competition, and it's a really great replica for our students who want to get into the business world. In the area of innovation, 5th grade students created digital constellation brochures using Canva as part of the informational unit. The project integrated science and writing, allowing students to apply research skills while learning essential digital design skills. Students in Ms. Mia's graphic design class are learning the Adobe InDesign to create professional quality layouts and to print digital media. The skill helps them understand the design process and builds practical experience with the industry standard software. Students in Mr. Howard's class are putting finishing touches on the oven rack tool woodworking project just in time for the Thanksgiving holiday, right?
My too. I still have mine too.
I'm sorry?
We still have.
You still have yours? That's good to know.
I have two.
Don't swell his head in your house. Really
No,
like
I
that.
have yours also.
Also, I had the opportunity to pop into Mr. Howard's class. I mentioned disciplinary PBL projects. Miss Grace's class and kindergarten classes came and visited, and we are creating projects that were approved by the Ed Foundation, in which they will be measuring snowmen for the holidays. And I can't wait to show you the results. I know last year they did it with one class, and it was fantastic. And this year we expanded it to all 4 kindergarten classes. Is that right, Mr. Howard? I think we did 2 or 4. Oh, the two kindergarten classes at Center Avenue. So be on the lookout for that. That's an outstanding project. And lastly, Mrs. McClellan held a first meeting of the Technology AI Guidance Committee. The goals of the meeting included creating K-12 guidelines for teachers and students on how to use AI effectively, responsibly, and safely, as well as to finalize the guidance and distribution, which should be out this time, sometime in January of 26. And that's it for the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. DiTomaso. Next is good and welfare. Condolences to the Donahue family on the passing of Rosemary S. Donahue on October 25th. Mrs. Donahue retired in 1999 after many years of service as a home economics and life science teacher. Condolences to Kalia Kelly and family on the passing of her mother, Severia Olin. And condolences to Wayne Smiley and family on the passing of his father-in-law, Walter Szymanski. Okay, now it's time for public comments. We have 3 here. Heather Massa. Okay.
Hi. I just want to go on public record with my concern for the way this administration is handling its embrace of artificial intelligence. I'm going to sound like a conspiracy theorist here, and I get it, but I have written many questions and received concerning and unimpressive responses. You have purchased a product, let's not call it a tool, Magic School AI, and you are using the same company to train teachers to use it. There's no policy in place at this time. I heard they're working on it, but you've already put it out there. No one seems to be able to tell me how the use of this product follows through with the mission of the district and the long-range strategic plan. No one seems to be able to pinpoint places that AI will definitely not reach here in the East Rockaway School District. So it's a yes in kindergarten, in math classes, in art and music classes. You are welcoming it in places it has no business being. What's the end game? Why do we have it? What is the purpose? And I don't want to hear that other districts are doing it because that's like, our parents always told us, if everybody jumped over a bridge, would you? Are we a place of performance or a place of learning? I don't think AI has anything to do with learning. I think it has to do with performance. If our goal is to have our students perform tasks, then they can just copy and paste to your heart's content. That's not learning. I have received responses from administrators that the point is to teach kids to use it ethically, and they have reassured me that they have the time and the staffing to support teachers, to train and support students in this after all the other work that they have to do. And I don't believe you. You don't even have a policy yet. You don't have any guidelines. I don't have faith in you because you have shown me that you didn't think this through. The scope is too big and you barely have enough staff for what you're already doing. You don't even have full-time special education teachers in your inclusion classes. If you integrate this gigantic technology correctly, something everyone is assuring me is happening even though you don't have the policy yet, you need more people and more mandatory classes for students. I have a lot of opinions about AI, and I've done a lot of research. I have a degree in information science. AI's only pro that I'm seeing is about speed, and we don't need speed with learning. We're gonna create a student body of helpless non-thinkers, and we just saw this Harvard study that came out, right? That students can't even keep up with their reading at Harvard. So there needs to be a shift, and I don't think this is the right way. One administrator told me that kids were already using AI to do their homework, so we might as well give them AI that we can control. I don't think this makes any sense. If someone told me there was a huge problem with bank robberies and the solution was that we should take